Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Today we are talking about Hamlet Act 3, Scene 3. We're going to focus primarily on that scene, and let's talk a little bit really quickly about what has happened prior to this scene. What's the lead up? So, Act 3, Scene 2, we know, was the play within a play. It was the mousetrap, right? This was the opportunity for Hamlet to have the actors put on the murder of Gonzago and then change it a little bit with some added lines to try to catch the conscience of the king, as Hamlet says, right? So, at the end of Act 3, Scene 2, let's just turn to that really quickly because we need to take a look together at Hamlet's soliloquy. I am in my version here. I don't know if that's going to be the same as yours. My version. But if you follow along, it should be very, very close, right? So they call Hamlet to go and see his mother. But beforehand, we are at the very end of the scene after the play. He's speaking with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and he takes a recorder, right? You know what a recorder is, like the little instrument, and he asks them to play upon it. And Guildenstern and Rosencrantz say, "My lord, you know I have no skill in such matters, right? Of course I can't do that. I can't play upon that recorder. I'm not plugged in there." And so Rosencrantz and Guildenstern basically try to protest and say, no, we don't know how to do that. And what is Hamlet's reply? "I do beseech you," right? "It is as easy as lying," he says. "Govern these vintages, these holes, these stops with your fingers, right, and thumb, giving it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops." He tries to show them how to play the recorder, but why is he doing this? Guildenstern says, "But these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill." And Hamlet replies, "Why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me, you would seem to know my stops, you would pluck out the heart of my mystery, you would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass, and there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak. 'Cause blood, you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, you cannot play me." Okay, this is an important moment here because he's showing Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, you think you can't play a recorder, but you could play me? I don't think so. It's very much this moment where Hamlet is explaining to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, he's telling them in a very kind of direct way to stop trying to manipulate him. They are clearly trying to manipulate and kind of cajole him into doing what they want to do, and he's telling them, you can't play me like that. Okay? He asserts in his own way, kind of in a subtextual way, of course, right, that he is not that easy to manipulate, that he sees exactly what they're doing, and that he's not going to let that happen. Polonius, of course, calls Hamlet to go and see Gertrude, and there's much more of the antic disposition, right? He asks Polonius, "Oh, do you see that cloud up there?" "Oh, what cloud?" "Oh, it looks like a camel." "Oh, yes, like a camel." "No, like a whale." Very like a whale." Polonius gets very annoyed with Hamlet and his nonsense here, okay? But he tells Polonius, "I will come to my mother by and by," which means I'll be there in a little bit. Basically, leave me alone. And in as aside, "They fool me to the top of my bent." And then he shouts back, "I will come by and by. Leave me alone." Polonius, "I will say so," right? "By and by is easily said," Hamlet says. We can hear this aggravation. Leave me, friends. And now he's on his own. This is an aside. At the end of Act 3, Scene 2, Hamlet has an important soliloquy. "'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to the world. Now could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Soft, now to my mother. O heart, lose not thy nature, let not ever the soul of Nero enter thy firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrites. How in my words, somever she be shent, to give them seals, never my soul consent." So basically, he's telling himself right here, and he's telling to, the audience and the world, he's going to go to Gertrude. He's going to speak to her, but he is not going to physically hurt her. He doesn't want to do anything to hurt her that way, but he wants to engage her conscience here. He wants her to think about what she has done and what this has turned into. Also, we see all of the references to everything that he could do and everything that he's prepared to do. When Churchyard's gone and Halself breathes out, we see that he's getting that inspiration to get this vengeance. All right, that's the end of Act 3, Scene 2.